Hey everyone, this is Carter Ozburn from the Paladin newspaper, and today I am bringing you the flagship episode of our new podcast series. We will be having guests on and interviewing them, um, anywhere from students, teachers, alumni, staff, anybody. Um, and this week, I sat down with the CEO of Interactive, which is a clothing brand that blends empowerment and wellness into something that's more than a brand. It's like a movement. Um, she graduated from Furman's executive banking school and started her own company, which is really awesome. And she um, was so sweet to sit down with us and talk to me about her whole story at Furman, in New York, in Georgia, not the state, the country. Um, and I hope everyone enjoys. Please, if you enjoyed this content or want to be featured, contact me or contact anyone on the staff. Yeah, and just let me know what you think. Without further ado, here is me and Nadia.
Yeah.
Hey, how are
Hi,
you?
Jack.
Hello.
Thank you so much for y'all joining and like agreeing to do this. I so appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Carter,
Yeah.
you've got a great setup there. I like the
Thank you.
microphone, the
Okay.
professional setup, the
Yeah.
background. It's very good.
So we have so much random like equipment in here, and I like threw this
Yeah.
together because we're trying to like I don't know like find different ways of like content and stuff. So I like threw this
Yeah,
together,
that's amazing.
and it's working okay right now, which is good. You guys can hear
Good,
me.
good.
This is good.
Yeah, we can hear you. Looks great.
This is huge. Thank you guys so much again. Um,
Sounds
but.
great. I'm excited. Let's get started.
Let's do it. Tell me more about your like background. You're from Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Tell me more about
So
your background in Georgia.
yeah, absolutely. So, I moved here, United States 20 years ago, and my background in Georgia, like when I started, I was actually always very much into fitness. I was a professional swimmer, very competitive, even when I
Ooh,
was in, middle school, high school, and then I moved here, 20 years ago to follow my dreams, right? My parents moved here and myself, and I always had this big, ambition to follow this American dream and build a life for myself. And, I moved here. I had friends there, obviously, but I started to make friends here. My first job was at Macy's or at Herald Square, and I was super
wow,
excited.
that's so cool.
Yeah, because I was into fashion, and my first job was on 34th Street. I still remember, and in a handbags department. And
Wow.
that's how I actually transitioned here and started my journey here. And then, every day when I was going to that Macy's, there was this Citibank building, 3 floors. And I have a finance degree, and I would pass by, and I was like, one day I'm gonna work there. And then 5 years later, actually, I ended up, that was one of my offices. I managed 17 locations in
Wow.
Midtown, and that was one of my offices 5 years later. So I was super proud of that accomplishment.
That's so cool. How did you know you wanted to like pursue banking or like pursue like finance as a whole?
Yeah, so I always had this desire of leadership and to influence people. Even when I was at school or going to school, and then finances and banking was something that I was very interested into, and mostly leadership. Even when my first job in banking was a teller. And
Wow.
I started as a teller from Macy's to a teller, and then I was so into like helping clients with their financial needs. After 2 years, I was promoted to a personal banker, and that's when my career started in banking.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of marked the shift from like man or like banking into management?
Yeah, I mean it's a big shift because when you are a banker, you are responsible of yourself, and when you are a manager, you need to lead by example. And I think you need to influence people and really build a great connection. So one of the things that even now when I get asked, what are some of the advice that you would give someone that's just starting in a leadership role, I always tell them to lead with purpose and don't ask someone to do something if you are not willing to do that, and build a community and mentors. And I think the Furman actually really supports that vision. You guys always talk about how you need to surround yourself with mentors and peers to encourage you and challenge you for your growth. So that's what I always tell them. So I had that desire to influence people. In my last 17 years in my banking career, I promoted so many bankers and tellers into leadership roles.
Yeah. Why did you come to Furman, like to get the degree? All the way from New
Yeah.
York and Georgia. Like,
So, why did I actually got there and how I got there? It was through the Consumer Bankers Association program. The CBA is at Furman. I have not been there before. I loved, first of all, such an amazing gym. The first thing that I did, I went there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm signing up for the gym. And every day I was
so nice.
there, but such a beautiful campus. And I was really glad that my bank, first I was at Citibank and then later Citizens Bank, they sponsored me. And you need to be sponsored to go there. And it was a 3-year program. So every summer I was really excited to be part of the community there. I made such a great connections. Loved the purple, was wearing my purple shirt.
Thank God.
So it was really great experience.
Okay, that's awesome. What was
Yeah.
like kind of your favorite like memory from like being at Furman? Do you have
Yeah.
like one like specific scenario?
Yeah, I mean there are a lot. First of all, such a great area and everything is
Yeah.
like so beautiful. Such a great restaurants around there, right? But my favorite is that I connected with like-minded peers and mentors and the people that I still connect with, right? And then one of the things that Furman really emphasizes is to respect for all people and um, you know drive that and welcome diverse perspective. And I think that's so important in everything that you do, and drive that community where meaningful connections really thrive. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. I made friends there that I'm still in touch with. One of my roommates, like it was such a great experience. So I would say building a supportive community, that's my biggest takeaway.
That's awesome. You talked about building a supportive community. Did you have any faculty that kind of acted as mentors? I mean, I know you mentioned mentors before, but
Yeah,
were like faculty?
absolutely. I mean, I met the faculty and everybody was like they were so caring. And I still talk to them. And I actually, when I was launching my business, it was a little bit scary, right? After almost 2 decades in banking, I have decided to start my own business.
Yeah,
And I have reached out to one of the faculty members actually, and I shared my vision, and the support that I got was really like incredible.
that's awesome. Let's talk more about Interactive.
Yes.
When did the kind of idea originate?
So the idea actually started, I would say, a little bit over a year ago when
Okay.
I have a growth mindset and I always want to get better. Even if you are getting 1% better every day, you are already like in that 1% because you need to be consistent and you need to have a discipline. And that's what I mean, 1 year ago. So I have actually decided to, take charge of my physical, mental well-being. And every day I would wake up, and I used to live in New York and I just moved to Florida 7 months ago. But every day I would wake up and it was like cold and freezing. But I was like, you know what? I want to be in a best shape of my life. And there was this CrossFit classes that I used to take at 6 a.m. in the morning, still
Oh,
dark.
oh my God.
Yes. And I would go there every day and,
That
through,
is crazy.
yeah. And then I actually lost 25 pounds during this journey with like
Oh, that's
working
awesome.
out, taking the classes, and I would buy every activewear that brand that's out there. I'm not going to mention names because they're my competition right now, but I would buy every activewear brand. And one of the things that I always thought is I want people to feel strong, to feel fearless, or to feel relentless when they wear my clothes. And that's when, I thought about launching my own brand. And it took me all this time to actually really redefine the quality and the vision that I had for this brand. And I'm super proud. I mean, I already sold over 60 sets, and the feedback that I got from the clients were amazing.
Yeah. You have been a CEO and a founder for like 3 months now.
Yes.
How has it been so far? What's been kind of the story, I guess, so far?
Yeah. One of the things that I would say when I took this CBA program at Furman, year 3 was really centered on the CEO role. I mean, they taught us overall leadership and understanding strategy, but year 2 was CFO and CRO perspectives. But year 3 was all about centered on a CEO role and how to refine executive decision-making skills. And I think that really helped me. So 3 months, I'm in a very first of all, I'm proud because I'm in a good place where actually last week we hosted and I partnered up with a celebrity dietitian, and we hosted a women's wellness retreat in Palm Beach. And I actually talked about how wellness and financial wellness are connected. And overall, I mean, the sales are looking good. We are getting a lot of engagement. I do want to partner up and continue partnership around wellness and financial wellness, and really partner up with the different hotels and the luxury boutique spas, and gyms, right, where they can actually provide interactive. And it's not just an activewear. I always say it's a movement. It empowers people to be their best selves. And that was my whole vision when I created Interactive.
Yeah. You talk about a lot about like wellness. Why has that been such like an important part in your kind of career trajectory? I know you talked about like waking up and like, feeling like empowered.
Yeah.
How has that like played
Yeah.
a role throughout your career?
Yeah. So, one of the things I actually mentioned over the weekend during this women's retreat is when anyone, it doesn't have to be women in general, in any person, when they take charge of their personal well-being, mental and financial, you become unstoppable. You can achieve so much. Like, these are the 3 critical items. And if you're in charge of that, you just have this confidence that there is nothing you cannot achieve. And it's also the discipline, right? So that has been, for me, I think it's all connected: wellness, financial wellness. And now more than ever, there was actually a study done that 65% of women right now, they're actively seeking products and services to enhance their well-being. And part of that is the clothing, right? Something that's going to empower them, give them confidence to show up for themselves and work out every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Getting back to the company, I always like to ask people this, like about anything.
Yeah.
What is one thing that is easy and one thing that is hard about like what you do, like on a day-to-day basis?
I would start with hard because there is more hard than
Okay.
easy. But you will get the hardest thing is that you will get a lot of no's, but you need to keep going. And I would say it's a discipline and that relentless drive that you need to have. And I have been reaching out to people and pitching my product and working. And overall, I mean, my leadership experience and background helped me, right? I have team that's working on marketing and the social media team, and really putting everyone together in one room and understanding what is the strategy and what I'm trying to achieve. I think that's because not everybody's going to buy in your company immediately unless they know story. So part of it is the heart is keep going. Regardless, you are in business or whatever you're starting, you will get a lot of no's and you cannot be discouraged. There are days and I'm like, oh my God, like I had that secure life and a great job. And, I lived in New York and it was just like dream come true. But I wanted something more for myself and I wanted to also influence people. And the easy part is for me to live. I mean, I don't always only preach, I would say, this like well-being. I live it. And for me, that's the easiest part. I would not ask anyone to wear my clothes. I love wearing my clothes, right? And working out in it. And I get asked all the time, oh, what is that brand? And I walk around with my business cards and I have a QR code on the back of my business card where
Perfect.
they can actually go to the website and I'm like, use Natia 20, you get 20% off.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so like that is the easy part because I love what I do and I don't feel like it's a part of the work. Like sometimes I work till midnight and I have a teenager son and he's like, oh my God, you're really worth the CEO life is hard. You are really working hard. But yeah, it's for me that's fun because I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have. Where kind of speaking on like achievement and strategy, where do you see Interactive in like 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, 5 years, I want Interactive um, to be a really well-known, recognized brand in activewear, but really empower people. And I want to hear how it influenced and changed someone's life, right? That's what I want to see. Obviously, I have a big ambitions, actively looking for partners and just really partner up with the different resorts, spas, gyms, and be a brand that really empowers people and have a movement versus just an activewear and clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back on your career as a whole, has there been anything kind of like surprising?
Um,
What?
surprising, I mean, there is always a lot of surprises, but I always look at things at as a growth, when you have a growth mindset, there are challenges in life in general, in a career. You go to school, you need to get ready for exams. Like there are so many challenges, right? But I always look at things like if something doesn't go well the way I want it to, I take that as a learning experience and opportunity. And versus, I don't never say, why is this happening to me? I always say, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
And that perspective really helped me to look at things differently. And even in business, right? Not always someone will say, yes, let's do the partnership. And maybe that's not going to go well, but how are you going to bounce back? I think that's very important.
Yeah. What would you kind of say to people interested in entrepreneurship, like going into the field? How would you kind of advise them?
Yeah, I think there are three things that I would say is connections, building a supportive community of like-minded people, and always network. I love networking, asking questions, learning, and have that growth mindset. And as long as you have resilience and passion, and you are passionate about what you're doing, I will say you're gonna keep going and you're gonna do well.
Yeah. Um, I guess my last question would be, do you have anything to say to the Furman community or like how, I don't know, to all your, your friends and connections and faculty
Yeah.
mentors or all of them, like what would you say to them?
So, a couple of things that I was thinking about is that to everyone to discover their passion and purpose, what they want to achieve, understanding yourself and like your place in the world and the environment we are, people like to be motivated, supported, right? And aligning your career with your passion. I think that in anything that you do, if you're passionate, you're gonna do well. So like that's will be my number one advice is discover your passion and follow that. I mean, I talk a little bit about the supportive community, but build a supportive community, surround yourself, and that's huge at Furman. It's surround yourself with the mentors and peers who encourage and not only encourage you, but also challenge you. Sometimes they need to give you tough feedback. That's how
Definitely.
you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
Um, and uh, embrace the lifelong learning, approach each experience as an opportunity for growth. I think that's what I have been following, and I am inspired and grateful for all the learnings and everyone that I met there. It was such an incredible experience, and I still keep in touch, and we are friends. And some of them, they already ordered my Interactive, and they're rocking
Hey,
it. So,
that's awesome.
yes,
Well, that's amazing. Well, that's really all I have. Do you have any questions or like
awesome.
anything like for me?
No questions. I really appreciated this conversation and
Yeah, thank
how much
you.
you guys care about your students and about the growth in the community. I think that's super important for me in my business as well. I want to build a community that
Yeah.
want to do well and get better every day.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important.
Yeah.
Empowerment and wellness, I feel like really
Yes.
do go together. Like that makes like perfect sense. I think that
Yeah.
like I don't know, adapting that into like clothing or like activewear,
Right.
it just seems like a great idea. And I
Yeah.
don't know, it's definitely seems like more of a movement, kind of what you said.
Yeah.
So,
And then I just want to show you like the even the boxes that I have. You see,
oh
it
yeah,
says
wait, give us a
you
little
are,
unbox.
yeah. So it says you are powerful. So this is a reminder for everyone that you're powerful and there is nothing you can achieve as long as you are passionate and you follow your dreams.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Nadia. I so appreciate
Of
this.
course. Yes, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Carter. And let us know if you will need anything else and we will keep in touch.
Yes, awesome. Sounds good.
Okay.
I
All
hope you all have a
right.
great rest of
Bye.
your day.